Hello everyone, my name is Sahil Shoibi, and today I will be discussing a topic related to week 18 of the course. The question I will go over today is, why is aging perceived as a negative phenomenon? We will first begin with the introduction, then cover the reasons why aging is perceived as a negative event, and finally finish with the conclusion. To begin with, what is aging? Aging is the process of becoming older, which can be defined as the time related deterioration of the physiological bodily functions necessary for survival and fertility, which happens to every human being. Quote, it is widely assumed that the aging process can be explained entirely as a physiological process of inevitable decline. End of quote. Nowadays, some younger individuals who view aging as a negative event hold stereotypes, prejudice, discrimination, and bias against the older individuals based on their age. This phenomenon is called ageism. Quote, many people see older adulthood as a period of decline and therefore view both the process of aging and older adults themselves negatively. End of quote. But what are the causes of these negative views about older individuals? There are a few reasons which might be the potential causes for this phenomena. Number one is older adults' complaints about aging. One reason for which aging is perceived as a negative phenomenon by younger adults is related to how often they hear complaints from their parents about aging. In other words, they see aging as negative because their parents who are getting older also see it as something negative. Sometimes parents might complain about how they're getting more tired and have less energy as they're aging, how they're now unable to complete the tasks they were able to previously, how they might look different and not as young. They might relate everything to the fact that they are becoming old and fragile. Quote, first, older adults' complaints about aging that is explicit, negatively balanced remarks addressing age related changes they experience and age excuses, comments in which people invoke age as an explanation or excuse for undesirable behavior. End of quote. When exposed to this perspective about aging, it is completely normal to view aging as something bad or negative, as this can affect how people view their own aging. Number two, the age health connection, which comes with increased dependency on others. As individuals get older, their health rate can decline, and inversely, their disease rate can increase, and as a result, they will need more attention and to be taken care of. As older people's rate of disability increases, sometimes even their children become very desensitized to them, as they don't want to spend their youth, energy, and time taking care of their parents, which is another reason why there is such a negative attitude towards aging. Quote, while older Americans are much healthier than older adults of past generations, rates of disability increase steadily with age. This means that older adults in general are more likely to be frail and to need assistance or accommodation. End of quote. Number three, cultural views. If we pay close attention, it is evident that youth is shown to be better than being old in every aspect of our culture and our day to day lives. All the actors, TV personalities, supermodels experience the most popular stage of their career when they are young. It is socially constructed that youth is more wanted, and as you become old, you become less wanted and less popular in every industry. Quote, anyone who has been exposed to US culture, even peripherally, quickly learns that the USA has a cultural bias in favor of youth. Movies, television, magazines, and advertisers who support those media all cater to the youngest demographic in our population. Why this focus on youth? Largely, I will argue, it stems from our fear of aging. In the USA, we have a tremendous anxiety about the aging process and death. Old age is stereotypically perceived as a negative time whereupon the older person suffers decline in physical attributes, mental acuity, loss of identity, loss of respect from society, and increasing dependence on others. Americans enjoy their individuality and feelings of control over what happens with their own bodies. Aging and death are seen as out of our control, and that produces feelings of fear and anxiety. Along with no perceived control over the aging process and eventual death, many Americans also view death as the end of their self. End of quote. Number 4, beauty companies and products. Nowadays, there are a tremendous amount of beauty products out there. Anti-age creams, age-related spot remover creams, even surgeries to make your skin look younger and remove the signs of aging. The advertisement of these products views aging as something negative that needs to be fixed, removed, hidden, or prevented, which emphasizes youthfulness is associated with beauty and being old is not, leading to the aging phenomena being seen as unwanted. Quote, another indicator of how entrenched ageism is in US culture can be found in the drive to hide physical signs of aging. A recent survey by the National Consumers League found that 90 million Americans each year, and that is likely a conservative estimate, purchase products or undergo medical procedures to hide the physical indicators of their age. People buy creams or makeup to hide age spots, to eliminate wrinkles in their skin, and hair dye to change your hair color from gray to a more youthful looking color. Anything but gray. Plastic surgery is increasingly popular as a way to attempt to stay looking younger. As men age, a very common physical sign of aging is the loss of hair on their head. Men, it appears, are just as afraid of looking older as women are, as evidenced by the popularity of tubies, wigs, plugs, implants, and even the illusion of a fuller head of hair via a spray-on substance. Why are people willing to spend so much money and undergo unnecessary risky medical procedures to hide physical signs of aging? Society tells us that aging is bad and people believe it rather unquestioningly. End of quote. Number 5, aging associated with decreased level of cognitive functioning. As people get older, their level of cognitive functioning declines. Therefore, younger individuals think that older adults simply don't understand some things and need to be treated differently. Quote, another type of speech is called baby talk. Those using this type of speech tend to speak with a high-pitched, exaggerated intonation, much like the over-accommodation style, but this type of speech is distinguished in how it is virtually identical to the style used when speaking to babies. In fact, when Caporal filtered out the content of the speech of one speaking to an elderly with baby talk and another person speaking to a baby, she found that the two speech styles were virtually identical. These speech styles derive from our stereotypes about older persons as almost childlike in their level of cognitive functioning and dependency on younger adults. In conclusion, there are many reasons that cause aging to be seen as a negative phenomena. I will conclude this presentation with these 3 questions as a basis of our weekly discussion. Number 1, what can we do to change the negative perspective towards aging? Number 2, what are the positive views about aging in older adults? And number 3, do you think there will ever be a way to stop the aging process completely? Thank you so much for your time and attention.